The official DVSA wording for "Did the trainer identify the pupil's learning goals and needs?" Usually this process will take place at the beginning of a lesson. However, where the PDI and the pupil have been working together for some time prior to the Part 3, or in the case of an ADI standards check, they may have already laid down the basic structure of the pupil's learning goals. This needs to be taken into account when assessing this element. If the PDI has not worked with the pupil before, it's perfectly okay for the PDI to ask the pupil to undertake a demonstration assessment drive. This should give the PDI a good idea of the pupil's level of competence and provide a basis for a discussion of the pupil's needs. It's also important to remember that a better understanding of the pupil's needs may emerge as the lesson progresses. The pupil's needs will continuously change as the lesson progresses. However, if the pupil is performing well, the PDI should consider a change in original lesson plan. It follows that this criteria cannot be ticked off at the beginning of the lesson and then forgotten. As an examiner observes the lesson, they should be looking for indications that the elements which go to make up the low-level competence are being demonstrated. In this case, the sort of things that would give them an indication of competence include encouraging the pupil to say what they want from the lesson if early in the learning process, ensuring there is understanding about responsibility for managing risk, asking questions to ensure understanding, checking understanding as the lesson progresses, listening to what the pupil is saying, taking note of body language. If a PDI encourages the pupil to say what they want, ask questions to check understanding at the beginning, and as the lesson progresses, listens to what they are saying and picks up on body language, they are likely to get a 3. If, on the other hand, the pupil does all the listening and the PDI fails to spot the learner getting very tense and nervous in a particular situation, they would probably get a 2. They would have demonstrated their understanding of the need to listen, etc., but have not yet developed their ability to spot nonverbal clues. Indications of a lack of competence could include making assumptions about understanding or experience, failing to note negative or concerned comments or body language that shows discomfort, undermining the pupil's confidence by continually asking questions clearly beyond the pupil's knowledge or understanding, pushing the pupil to address issues they are not happy to talk about unless there's a clear need, such as an identified risk or a safety critical issue.